14 years ago, when I first started selling my art at art fairs, I thought the thing that I needed to do to be able to make art that sells was get better at painting and maybe figure out like what customers wanted to buy, and I wasn't really sure about that, so I was trying a lot of things. It was kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall, and I would think, well, I like this, I'm going to paint this thing and I'm going to try to paint it really well, and then hopefully people will buy it. I mean, that was really all that was going on in my mind. But a few years into doing shows, I started seeing a pattern. I started realizing what certain artists were doing to be able to sell a lot of work, and then what some of the other artists, like their neighboring booths, might not be doing that was causing their sales to be significantly less. So that's what I want to discuss in this video. Ultimately, I stopped trying to guess what would sell and what customers would want to buy, and I started understanding the fundamental reason of why they were buying. And most importantly, I figured out how to be able to replicate this in my own work and my own art fair booth. To exemplify this, I want to take you back to what I would think about when I was creating work for my art fair booth during those first couple of years, before I understood what I actually needed to do to make real money at shows. And so in my mind, when I would create a painting, I would just find something that I was passionate about, and I'd be like, oh, I really like this subject, right? And I would paint it. And like I said before, I would paint it to the best of my ability, then I would make art prints of it, I would stick it in my booth, and I'd tell people stories about why I painted it when they came in my booth. But what this ended up doing to my art fair booth was making it a hodgepodge of all sorts of different stuff. Not just acrylic paintings, but I also had digital art, because I really enjoyed at the time making fractals. If you're unfamiliar with what fractals are, they have these fractal generating programs, and you can input equations and play around with different things on there. I'm not a mathematician, but it's very easy to use these programs, and in a few clicks you can make a really cool geometric pattern type of artwork. So then I would have these printed out really large and sell them in my art fair booth alongside my landscapes and my surrealism pieces and my animals. And I gotta say, most of the paintings that I made back then weren't very good from a skill level. I mean, I was trying my best. I was a beginner artist. I was working really hard to get better, and some pieces were better than others. But there were a lot of different skill levels, because you'd see the fractals, which looked precise, like really amazing, because they were digitally generated. And then right next to them would be a painting that was more impressionistic. And so none of it really had a cohesive feel. And I didn't realize it at the time, but this was one of the things that was holding me back. During that time period, I also thought the only thing I really needed to do to be able to sell more work was to become a better artist. So I was trying so hard to become a better artist. I was doing anything I could, looking at YouTube videos, watching tutorials, getting books off of Amazon to try to improve my skills, like painting every day. Usually I would paint for 6 to 7 hours a day during this time. I actually ended up giving myself really bad tendonitis in my arm, which I still struggle with to this day, because I was painting so much, because I thought the real secret to selling more work was to become a better artist. And actually, this is partly true. I mean, if you're making horrible work, it's going to be harder to sell it. But you don't have to be like the most amazing artist there ever was to be able to sell your work at an art fair. I think you need to be about average. Well, average with maybe a little bit of extra business know-how and sense when it comes to art fairs. And that's what we're going to get into next. So as I started doing more and more art fairs, I started seeing some patterns. And this was so important for me. It was a huge unlock. Okay, so I started noticing that there were certain genres of art that always seemed to sell well at every single show, no matter who the artist was that was making it. These were art booths that were primarily focused on animal art, or landscapes, or florals like flowers, or large abstract flowers. Local scenes or tourist kind of scenes that are related to the local area that you're selling at, or also pop art portraits. So these would be portraits of famous stars like Jimi Hendrix or the Beatles, things like that, or even portraits of characters, things that were popular in culture and television during the time. Whenever I'd see booths that were focused on any of these themes, they'd be selling out. There'd be constant lines going in and out of the booths. And I realized that this is what I needed to do. Also, I paired this with some of the experiences that I was having in my own art fair booth. Because out of all of the work I was making, people kept wanting to buy prints of my animal paintings more than anything else in my booth. And so these were two really big signals to me that I needed to go all in on animals. That said, I would like to say that selling within these categories aren't the only way to make money at art fairs, as I know there are outliers. There are people who have art booths who have some really unusual, really cool thing that they're selling, and they'll sell a lot of them. So you don't always have to pigeonhole yourself into one of these categories. But if you are having a hard time selling work, choosing one of these categories to sell work in seems to me, at least, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to make money. Next, it's important to consider the second part of this equation, because the framework that I figured out isn't just only plugging yourself into one of those subject matters that always sells well at art fairs and starting to make work within that genre. It's not just that, but it's also that you need to make your work super unique, because customers, you have to kind of put yourself in their mind, right? But they're walking through an art fair. They're going from booth to booth. And typically, let's just say that we're talking about animal art because I have the most experience with that. There will often be 6 to 8 booths out of 100 vendors at a show that will be selling predominantly animal art. And then there will be maybe 20 or 30 other booths that may have like 10% or 20% of their inventory being animals. Because most artists who do this for a living start figuring out right away that customers love to buy animal art. And just similarly, they also figure out that customers love to buy landscapes and they love to buy pop art. And so whatever thing that you really like to paint, you got to kind of think about all these subject matters, right? And figure out one that you're passionate about. You don't want to make work that you're not passionate about. So for me, I chose animals because I love animals and I was painting them already. And I realized that I was good at painting animals. It was something that I loved to do. And yeah, I could see myself doing this for the next 10 or 20 years. And so as you're kind of considering which one of these subject matters to paint, think about that, what you're passionate about. But also think about how you are going to make yourself stand out. Because as those customers are walking through the art fair, they need to have a pattern interrupt. And what I mean by this is, so they've seen booth after booth after booth. If all the animal art looks similar, then they're going to start running together in their minds like, oh, I saw that before. No, I'm not as interested in it. So how are you going to get your artwork to stand out? As I see it, there are several levers that you can pull to be able to create this within your work. And the first stuff is using colors in unexpected ways. So in my work, I love to use bright colors. And what I found at art fairs is customers who want to be in an upbeat mood and they're going through the event, shopping, they love to see artwork with bright colors in any genre. So bright colors are a good go-to, but they don't always have to mean the brightest rainbow colors. It could just be really high contrast, or really exploiting chiaroscuro, ultimately making your work have so much visual pizzazz, wow factor. You can also set yourself apart by having a unique style, something that really shows your artistic voice, or maybe even exploiting unique compositions, something that people have never seen before. Or maybe you're going to paint really large, because if a person only has small landscapes in their booth, and then they're right next to someone who has 60-inch by 40-inch landscapes, those 60-inch by 40-inch landscapes are going to get people's attention quicker than the small landscapes. You also can make yourself stand out at an art fair through your branding and your art booth design. You can make your art have this feel to it and have your booth match that feel. You can even dress in a certain way that accentuates the vibe that you're trying to put off in your booth. And this could be the thing that sets your work out from everybody else's at the art fair. So it's the entire vibe that you're creating. I'm always trying to create an uplifting, really light, happy mood in my booth. And I greet people with a smile and a lot of high energy because this matches the style of my paintings. But my husband, on the other hand, wants to create a mood in his booth that's more peaceful. And so when he greets customers, it's much more calm, and he doesn't try to talk to them as much as I do. He really just gives them space to be able to view the work. So the idea here is that you can set yourself out differently from the other booths at an art fair, not just by your work, but by how you're presenting it. So to break this all down into a really understandable formula, make popular subject matter with a pattern interrupt. And this is the type of artwork that people will stop by your booth and purchase because it's connecting with them on an emotional level, but it's also giving them this wow factor feeling when they walk by your booth initially to see it. So I don't know how many times people come up to my booth and they are primed to buy because they see my work and they're like, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. This is so cool. And that's the money reaction that you always want to get out of your customers. So whenever they say that, I know I'm going to be able to sell them something. Next, I think you'll find it helpful to learn some more of the easiest things that you can do in your art fair booth to make more money. Check that video out here. All right, thanks so much for watching. See you next time.